Welcome to the Bear Facts on Guns, where host Derek Baer and his guests are locked and loaded to educate, inspire, and answer your questions about firearms. Today, what does the Senate really matter? Ready? Aim. Derek.
Oh, welcome back to the show, guys. Thank you for tuning back in. It's great to be back and back on the air, obviously. Took a little bit of a hiatus for a couple weeks, but at the same time, it was needed to be done.
Busy guy.
Business is business, man.
Yeah, that's it.
It's business. So, and at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the business is running smoothly and everything's squared away, and I feel great. So
Absolutely.
It's been a great couple months of everything, but yeah, how you been, man?
Busy, good. Last week battled the vid.
Yeah.
And but feel great. It's crazy.
Hey, Kiki,
Hey,
welcome.
Kiki.
Welcome in. So, battled the vid, man.
Yeah.
That's what, number two?
Number two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second one worse than the first one?
No, it was no, not at all. But it was weird. It hit me late Monday afternoon. Just came out of nowhere. Hit me like a truck hit me. And then I woke up Saturday, and it was as if I never was sick.
Really?
It was so weird. Yeah.
Like just fever? What do you have?
Yeah. So Monday at like 3:30 in the afternoon, the truck hit me. So I had body aches, headache, fever, shaking, sweaty, cold,
Oh my God.
just like that.
Oh,
Just like that.
Jeez.
And then Tuesday and Wednesday, I just didn't want to move. Felt a little better Thursday. Still tested positive.
Yep.
Friday, I got out, mowed the lawn, said I got to sweat this out. Saturday, I woke up as if I was never sick. It was crazy.
Jeez.
It's so weird.
Dude, Mike got hit hard with it too. And it was funny because we all hung out on Sunday, right?
That's what I was concerned about.
I mean, as soon as I heard about it too, I was like, am I okay?
Right.
I'm like, I'm just gonna give this a couple days because it hits everyone different.
Yeah.
But I had just gotten over vid, I think the month before, and that was hell for me. It was 10 days of just utter terribleness. The Mike got hit with it, and it was funny because I called him in the morning and I said, hey, how you doing? And he's like, I'm not feeling great.
Right.
I'm like, I need to relax. I'm like, okay, just to let you know, turn your phone off because everyone's just going to blow you up right now because it's a work day and we got a busy day. And at the end of the day, I got you. Like, have him call me, whatever needs to happen. And literally, I didn't hear from him again until probably 9 p.m. And I texted his wife. Man, it was like, I think it was like 4. And I was like, hey, how's he doing? She's like, oh yeah, he's bad. And he's sleeping and he's quarantined in wherever he was quarantined in his house. And I'm just like, dude, it's funny how everyone hits it. Who else that we hung out with Sunday? Did anybody else?
Nobody else.
Just the two of you?
Just you and I.
So freaking weird.
Yeah.
Like we had 10 people there. Like,
Right.
I don't know, but
10 people eating, hanging out,
yeah, we
grabbing the same chips. Yeah, it was
you
weird.
probably should stop making out with Mike then.
It's probably.
In the corner. That's the only one. You tried to make out with me. I said no. So
That's right. Unholio.
Unholio. So, I got a crazy story I'm going to start off with, and then we're going to jump into this, Senate conversation.
Oh, but wait.
Yeah.
Let's have an update
Yes.
on your good buddy Alec.
Oh yeah. What do we got?
Well, of course,
Yeah.
the FBI,
Oh yeah.
exactly what we said at the beginning. That gun, the trigger had to be pressed.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. The gun would not and has not ever fired without that gun being pressed.
Yes.
So, Alec,
The FBI.
that's the FBI. And I would say, FBI, whatever. But at the end of the day, they're going to come for you, bud.
That's right.
And I hope they do. And this has been the longest freaking stint of crap I've ever seen in my
Oh,
entire life.
Yeah. It's getting close to a year, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it
was
is.
like
Yeah.
February, January, February.
Yeah, this
something like
woman literally is never going to have another birthday, never a
Right.
moment with her family,
Right.
and he's walking around. He got let go on a set. He wasn't able to get a job. You already talked, dude. We talked about this a year ago.
I know.
We did. I mean, literally, we said, "Hey,
Now he's trying to go to the media,
Yeah.
complaining because he's losing work because of this.
exactly."
You should be in prison.
She's dead.
Yeah.
Okay. She's lost work too, by the way. She can't go to work anymore. So at the end of the day, I have absolutely zero sympathy for this piece of crap. And at the same time, I can't wait till the FBI finally rains down on him. Right. And at the end of the day, we're just 100% in jail and all that as well.
And that is your Alec Baldwin update. For the show.
Yeah, seriously. At the end of the day, there's no other things that you would. For me, I'm just waiting for the handcuffs to come out.
Yeah, why haven't they?
It's because it's so sad that we live in a world that like you have money and your celebrity status and everything's fine, but you're not in jail. The definition of manslaughter is exactly what you did. It is literally the definition of manslaughter.
Yep.
So in that county, like no one else should be prosecuted at all for manslaughter because you guys can't define it properly, which is the accidental death of somebody, and that's it. You know what I mean? So that shit is just bogus. It's just absolutely bogus.
It's ridiculous.
So I can't wait till he does it. That's honestly what it comes down from on there as well. So, and I love the article you sent me because it was just freaking hilarious and it made me laugh inside.
I know.
But I've gotten probably 50 messages in the past week over the Senate stuff, and like I said, we'll jump into.
So what's happening with that?
So I'm gonna give a little teaser. So the Senate literally went and approved a bill to ban assault rifles.
Yes.
And it passed.
And it passed.
With Republicans, and by the way, you know the two Republicans that made that happen? New York and Ohio. Oh, Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois, yes. Yeah. Illinois and New York.
Yeah.
The two Democrat states anyway.
Yeah.
And they Republicans are probably just pretending to be Republicans so they can get the vote in the Senate. And that's it. This is my take on that. But we're going to dive further into what that actually means because everyone's like, well, what are you going to do with your assault rifle? So first off, I don't have an assault rifle. Second off, I would like somebody to define assault rifle, and we're going to dive into that too.
Right.
Mache, welcome to the show, buddy. And guess what? Yeah, you like my shirt, guys? For those of you that can watch on Facebook or Instagram.
It's not the hub I was thinking.
Yeah, so it says Gun Hub, and it says Shooting Hot Loads.
I love it.
It's my favorite shirt. Mac bought it for me for my birthday, and I've told him I was going to wear it on the first show when I got back. So, hey, Art, welcome to the show. Hey, babushka. So, yeah, I have a story to tell you that you're going to. I was scared, actually, for the first time in a long time. And I panicked. And so I'm sitting at home. And we have a new dog that you guys met, Gunner. Gunner's doing great, by the way. He's still adoptable. So we had just got our first application in today about him on there as well. So I have to go through that application tonight. But learning, training, he's doing great. He's all crate trained now. I take him on long walks, probably half an hour every single day, just to get him to do number 2 because he won't do it in the backyard for whatever reason. He's too excited. He is a good dog. But I lost like 18 pounds now.
I know, you look great.
So it feels good. I have a ton of energy again. So it's like, man, a part of me is like, dude, I mean, this dog's helping me be healthier, you know. At the same time, it's not right justice for him in our house because it just don't have the amount of space that this dog really does need and the time to train him the way that he needs to be. He is ridiculously smart on there as well. So, he's awesome, and Hoof Wolf and Meow is how you reach out to him, and that's how you can fill out an application for him. He's a great dog, so, and you can check out their page. He's plastered all over it right now because we sent him a whole bunch of videos over it. So I'm sitting at home, and I hear what I think is a firecracker, you know, like a firework, and I'm like, that's weird. It's, you know, like 7 p.m. at night, and I don't remember, it was like a Thursday or something, and I'm like, I don't know why they're blowing off firecrackers. So then I'm waiting, and I hear another one go off, and I'm like, okay. And then I heard pow, pow, pow. And I go, that wasn't a firecracker. And the neighbor just ran inside the house and slammed the door because I was out back. I go, what do I do? Wow. So I go, okay. And the first thing I thought of is, what am I getting? What should I get right now? What is my preferred firearm that I'm going to go jump into that would make me feel confident about whatever's about to go down? Because, you know, I don't know. I mean, we live in Buffalo Grove, and it's a safe community, but at the same time, there's people that literally jump onto this, and you just never know, right? And you never know what's going to happen, and you want to be prepared for it, and that's all. And at the same time, I went and got my AR-15. It's the first thing I did.
You got a name for it?
No, I probably should name her. Mac, you got a name for your AR-15? Art's looking for an AR-15 right now, so I'd be curious. Art would probably call his babushka just because it's funny.
I'll break you.
I'll break you. And he does have that great voice that Art has. We had a big meeting today for our company, and my favorite word he says is, safety. He goes, safety DD. It's the best thing ever. So for me, it was just like, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I get this kind of stuff? And what it realized for me right away is like, man, we talk about this, we go through training and stuff like that, but like it's been months since I've even done any house training with like being able to jump into like what I should be doing, what Kiki should be doing, all that kind of stuff to make sure that we're all on the same page and safe. Police showed up. I don't know what happened or what the deal was. I didn't see it in the police blotter, so I don't know if it was just firecrackers gone rogue and popped off 3 different ways. But that's it on there as well. So what did he say?
He thinks the microphone or the camera hanging down is wires on.
Oh no! So there is absolutely 0 wires in the studio, completely visible. That is actually one of the camera angles that Kent will switch over now to.
There's the camera.
That one.
That's
See?
the one you think. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to do like stage left, stage right. You ever seen the movie Grown Ups?
Yeah.
And they're looking at those chicks. Okay, everyone left, right, left, right. Okay, switch. We're all looking in the same direction. Now we're all looking in the wrong way. So. Love movies, by the way. How's the movie show going?
He's in Bulgaria. His wife is from Bulgaria, so they've been over in Bulgaria for 2.5 weeks.
Holy cow! Okay.
Yeah, so I think he'll be back for the next show.
Nice.
But it's a great show.
I heard really well. He had some really good stuff to talk about with the last one as well. We watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith this weekend, which was a really great movie, and one of those things that you just look at it and go, "There's so much cool weaponry that's being used in these movies." And by the way, no one died on that set, so just saying. Alex, interesting how that works.
Yeah, the guns didn't. Those guns didn't fire themselves.
No, they did not. They had fully automatic weapons on that too.
Yeah, they did.
It was just a badass movie. It was fun to watch, and it was cool to bring out. John Wick movies obviously are my favorite stuff to pay attention to with that, especially with John Wick, because he actually goes in and trains with like actual gun enthusiasts that actually have competition shootings and stuff like that. So that stuff is incredible to be able to watch. There's a couple other movies we've talked about that have realistic gun scenes in them that would be tactical training and stuff like that as well. So
Rambo.
Yeah, right. Huge 50 caliber thing. Oh, I saw a Facebook video the other day. One of these female shooters that I follow, she held up a 50 BMG and fired 5 shots in the air, like not in the air, but she lifted the entire gun off the table and unloaded 5 rounds out of it. Dude, number one,
it's a cannon.
It is a cannon. So I had to show a reference at work. I was like, let me show you the difference between a 50 BMG bullet versus a 9mm. And I mean, I think you had a 50 BMG around here somewhere. There's sitting up on the table up there. Yeah. That thing's huge. And the barrel retracts into the firearm, which is the coolest thing in the world, but that's where the recoil comes from. It still weighs, I mean, it's got to weigh like freaking, I don't know, 25, 30 pounds easy lifting that thing off the table. It might be more than that. I'm not really sure. So Shayna's got a comment. Welcome into the show, Shayna. Thank you always for joining in.
Yep. She says, I know of 2 serious crimes, 1 home invasion and 1 attempted abduction in our area, and I'm shocked at how no public info or media coverage on it. Gives me the impression that more people should be carrying, especially women, carrying, especially women. Yep. Why we are not hearing about local crime.
So there's a lot of reasons why. I'm going to give you the most direct one, which is the media. It doesn't follow the media story. It's not the right color. It's not the right involvement of people. And what I mean by that is it doesn't include a police officer, shooting a black individual. And I'm just going to say that because that's the narrative that they keep pushing out there. And I know Phil and I have had many conversations about the black versus white stuff. But at the same time, you're right. There is a lot of local gun violence. Shayna, what town, if you don't mind me asking, do you live in? Obviously, don't be specific too crazy, but what area, I guess, we can start with there and go from there because I'd be curious. The media really comes down to it. The second reason is it's not interesting enough for them to talk about it. So maybe it was a domestic situation where it was a husband and wife, or a boyfriend and girlfriend, or it was brothers, or it was gang related. If you look at the south side of Chicago, I mean, literally there are shootings almost every minute down there, and the media doesn't talk about it because it's black on black shooting and it's gang violence, and it's not newsworthy to being able to do that. What I did hear on the news recently is in Indiana, and I want everyone to really focus on Indiana, because Indiana just got rid of all permits with concealed carry completely. So it's literally, there's no permit required. It's Second Amendment. And the news, we found 3 articles where they were able to stop a shooting before it occurred as soon as the law passed. And then there was one that was very heavily mediafied. That's a new word I just made up.
I love it.
Thank you.
Mediafied.
Is the police officer that was shot during a traffic stop with a gun that somebody was doing. Now, my question is, right away, if that law wasn't there, would that shooting have still happened? And that person that shot the cop, I don't think really cared about what the laws were at that point, hence why he shot a cop. The good outweighs the bad, and you're right. Women need to arm themselves. Men need to arm themselves. People that are here to protect need to arm themselves. It's just how it should be.
Well, and depending on where you're at,
True.
right? So there are some suburban villages, as I would call it, that are really marketing, hey, this is a great place to live. This is, stop on out. It's a bit of utopia out here. And so that, too, plays a big part into what is reported in the local papers and what is not.
Yep.
So there's a lot at play when it comes to it. She says the crimes were Elgin, 27-year-old woman, jumped and dragged at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday in the employee parking lot. The other Barrington Hills.
Wow. Okay. So, we talk about these small towns, right? And those are the ones that worry me the most, because everyone's complacent. Everyone doesn't think it's going to happen to them. I think of towns like Barrington. I think of towns like South Barrington and North Barrington and Barrington Hills. I think of small towns like McHenry, where it's very country oriented. It's very relaxed. There's not a lot of police officers, and if you have the police officers, you know who they are, but they have no action. They have no drive to I should be paying attention to that. No, it's just the town drunk or the town domestic dispute or whatever it is.
And I don't know if this was the lady in Elgin, but I was listening to a talk show today, and a gentleman saw something like that, and he was across the street while a young lady was about to be they were trying to abduct this young lady. He yelled, ran across the street, and pepper sprayed the guy trying to drag her into the car, the driver, and the passenger. So there were 3 guys. Jeez. So literally, this guy went and saved this young lady who was who was in the I guess middle of an abduction.
Yeah. Do you remember a time back in the day when something like that would happen and the media would glorify it and show off this person and talk about their history, but then the mayor would come out and give them a key to the city because you were that respectful, great citizen. We have this world we live in right now.
Yeah, trafficking.
Yeah, perfect, exactly, trafficking. And trafficking happens a lot. Why is nobody talking about trafficking? The whole world knows that it's happening, and people go missing all the time. Let's talk about missing persons that don't get mediafied.
Let's talk about a little black book.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind.
Seriously, yeah. Don't talk about that black book. It's a computer out there, too, I think, that is.
Something.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think the FBI has that. It's been misplaced a couple times, but then found again. So, yeah.
Oddly.
Yeah. Strange things are happening. So, when you have these trafficking situations, you have, people that stand up and are good citizens and care about what they do to protect their community, because that's what I feel like I do. I carry every day to protect the community, protect myself, but at the same time, I'll be the first one to jump into a situation and make sure that the right person is, and that's my responsibility. And it's a heavy one to do. I wouldn't draw or pull if I needed to. Didn't need to.
Well, and a lot of it goes. So I'm a hashtag girls dad, right?
You're a what?
Hashtag girls dad.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
So I've got
Yes.
3 daughters.
Yep.
Fortunately, they're all gorgeous. My son, of course, the oldest, he's out east, and he's a good looking guy too. So I've got daughters, 26, 20, and 13.
Does any of your daughters carry or have any interest in it?
Ashley has them. They're not hers. They're her boyfriend's. But they go to the range. She knows how to handle one if she has to.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dirty jokes I wanted to say right now, but it's your daughter, and I'm going to keep it clean.
Would she? It's hard to tell. She has helped out an individual as well when she was living in downtown Chicago.
Okay.
It was more of a domestic dispute, but she too pulled out her pepper spray and used it on a guy.
Okay.
And hung out with the young lady until police got there. So she probably would. But the other big thing is, again, it's training and it's educating. It's talking to your kids at any age and saying this is real stuff. Not trying to scare you and not to live, but you got to keep your head on a swivel and don't trust anyone.
Yep.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
I always look at everything.
Keith, how are you?
Yeah. What's up, Keith? Welcome to the show, buddy. I always pay attention. I always do, and it's such a habit at this point that it's almost like I'm a owl, You're just constantly looking, constantly scanning the room, and I hate crowds. I hate crowds for one reason and one reason alone. It draws attention in ways that doesn't need to be drawn. It also opens up a attack on. I actually just think about bomb threats. We consistently talk about guns, but what are we doing about the materials that are able to be purchased at Home Depot to make some kind of tactical bomb that's untraceable, that all you have to do is watch a YouTube video for?
Right.
That stuff is really not good. So did Art just say he loves crowds?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, that's because everybody comes up to your nipples.
I push him away. Whenever he stands next to me, I'm like, can you just please step away, dude? You bring out the Napoleon in me. I'm 6'3", dude. I'm not a small dude. But at the same time, when I stand next to him, I'm like, can you please just walk away from me really quick? I can't be next to you on that as well. And then you put Mac next to me, and I'm like, oh, I feel good again. But now I know how Mac feels when he stands next to me, because I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't stand so close to you. And it's terrible.
Shayna says, I just wonder if more of these anti-Second Amendment people had a more honest assessment, would understand the magnitude of it all.
I mean, now it's just power, right? And the media loves a good negative story. It sells better. It's just like sex sells. It's the same concept. It's marketing. It's dollars. We live in a capitalist society, so we are trying to sell as much as we can at all times. We're trying to buy as much as we can at all times. And you put a news broadcast up of a guy saving some woman in Elgin that could have been abducted and trafficked and gone for the rest of the planet for the rest of her life, and you put that on the frontline page, and people are like, oh, that's nice, what a nice guy, but it doesn't sell. But you put somebody on the news that says, hey, Indiana man shot officer, and oh my gosh, I have to read that. So it matters on the clicks.
Yeah.
How many clicks can I get something? How many impressions can I get? How many different shares and likes and comments and stir up and fights? And it's sad because I'm going to talk snot about Facebook, even though we're broadcasting partially on Facebook here. But Facebook loves that kind of stuff. They look for those comments. They look for those commentaries back and forth. And then the algorithm says, hey, we should probably show this to more people because we want more people to comment.
More interactions.
More interactions on it as well. The social dilemma is a perfect example of what it is. Let me just feed this to you. Your cell phone pings you at certain times. And there's apps that I've never seen on my phone. I didn't even know I had on my phone from years ago. And it's like, hey, don't forget about me. They paid somebody to say, hey, throw that out for a notification real quick, and then we'll be good on there as well. So, and I don't disagree with your comment there. Yeah, it's sad. Go ahead.
I would disagree. I don't think we live in an idiotic society.
Okay.
I think we live in an over well, how do I want to say this? A misinformed.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be. It's not idiotic if you're misinformed, right? So they say if you want to be informed, read the newspaper. If you want to be misinformed, read the newspaper. Right?
Yeah, it's black and white and red all over. I mean,
Right.
that's the joke
So
that it is.
so it's not. We're not. We are in one of the most intelligent. We have artificial intelligence. We are so far smart. It's ridiculous. You can't say it's an idiotic society. What it is we've chosen to be misinformed, and several people in, especially this nation, and I can only speak for this nation, have decided to follow the misinformation. And it's the old saying: when you were a kid, hey, if you tell the truth, you never have to remember.
True.
If you tell a lie,
Yep.
you tell it so many times, you eventually believe that is the truth.
Sure. I think where art's going from, and I talk about this in the company all the time, and I know I've used this reference before, but when we, in our team meeting today too, was about our experience and what that means and the definition of that and why we're different and all that. And there's 4 different types of people that we come across that we want to sell to, and that we educate, because I hate the word sell. Actually, I don't use that in the company at all. We educate our clients. They make the informed decision on to buy from us or not. But there's 4 different types of how you can educate them so that they both can do that as well. Sorry, I just emailed you. You got me. Oh my God, Jigs. Yeah, that was a good one. And I think the hardest part is we started having this conversation. We started going into, and I asked my team, I said, hey guys, so what defines a driver to you? What's a driver customer? A customer that, what does that mean? What does a pleasant customer mean to you? What is an undecided customer? What is I'm going to forget the last one right now, an analytical customer. So those are the 4 ways that we kind of look at an individual that we're in front of, because we care about what information we give.
Yeah.
And what I realized right away, and I had to stop it for a second and regroup the team, because it was immediately, well, an undecided customer means that they just are unhappy with the last HVAC company that came out and did their work on their system, and they're just going to be difficult to deal with. And I go, wow. And I literally took a step back. I'm like, guys, it's 1% of the customers that we deal with that are unhappy that we're there. Every other 99% of the clients that call us want us in the home. They're paying us to be there. So I said, I want you to focus on the rest of this meeting on the 99% rather than the 1% of crap that's out there, because it's so easy to get sucked into this negativity. And I don't disagree with what you're saying in there too. And I know where Art's heart's coming from with it when he says what he says on that. He is frustrated because he wants to see a society that doesn't see it. The problem is Facebook knows Art so well. And should I say something? This is a recording, Keith. So if we have Art's algorithm in his stuff, it knows that he gets upset about it because he posts more about it. Right. So he goes on the offensive of it again. What did he say?
Yeah, it's just how else would you call it people who just blindly follow the media then? I guess unopinionated side. Oh no, they've got opinions and they ain't afraid to tell you.
Yeah.
Right? They're just misinformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you deal with stuff with that, and it's sad to hear that that's all Art sees, because for me, I don't see that on my Facebook page. I see some of it, but I scroll past it as fast as I possibly can, because number one, I don't like to be in that space in my head because it's not good. For me, it's not. The second part of it is if you think that is how the world is operating, there's a whole bunch of people that you can meet face to face that are really good people and care.
Really good people.
And really good Second Amendment holders. And again, the media is so powerful. It really is. It's so addictive to get into it. It's like TikTok, dude. TikTok is the most addictive thing in the entire world. I'm now seeing more ads come through all the time. Yeah. And the ads are so well done. Okay? And I'm a marketer. I freaking love marketing.
And at first you go, oh, wait, this is an ad I'm watching.
Dude, and it's exactly what it is. But that's the new way to market is to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's subconsciously market to people instead of just saying, hey, buy this.
Yeah.
No, it's, hey, look at how cool this is. Okay, yeah, that's cool. It's old Steve Jobs' way of doing things.
And
hey,
now there's a whole bunch of people who are like, TikTok made me buy it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And now you made a hashtag out of it. I mean, Kiki's bought stuff from TikTok as well. I see it in the office all the time too. People buy stuff all the time from it, which is good. So, and Keith, yes, this is a recording. So, if you want to comment, I'm not going to say anything to you. So, if you comment, it's not going to happen. Just kidding, buddy. So, yeah, I don't think. I think you're right. We need to educate, but I think that the people that are the ones that are commenting are the people that I just ignore. I just literally don't care what they think or say because I'll listen to it. I'll read it if I need to, especially if it's something about our show. But I'm not going to live in that world where I care what somebody else is saying. I know in my heart what is right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Correct.
You know? And I know I wake up every day and know that I'm a good person, or I try to be a good person. I try to do what's right. I try to lead with my heart. I try to care about the people around me. Yeah. I got a text message from a tech today that was actually warming to my heart because what did he say to me? He said, you guys are really good to the people that you work with. And it was right after the meeting, and stuff like that resonates to me because this individual had some opportunity, and for me, it's taken years for me to take a step back in leadership and really not dive into the I'm just going to handle it because I know what I need to do. I know the steps that need to happen.
Allison says, hey, can I come visit the studio one day?
Oh, that's cute. What's up, Allison?
She's watching the show.
Dude, our daughter is like the cutest thing in the entire world.
Allison, the door's always open.
Allison, you're more than welcome. We got a great comfy couch over in here. We got a brand new design studio.
Got some nice microphones you can come and talk on.
Exactly.
Love to have you on, sister.
She's hilarious. Hilarious.
All right, so
yeah,
Senate passes a new thing.
Yeah.
Gun control.
Yeah.
And no more assault weapons.
Yep, I'm gonna air quote that thing right there.
We're not selling, or it's banned. What did they say?
They're not giving licenses to people that are able to sell assault weapons.
Right.
So they're basically trying to use a loophole right now to ban, and I'm just going to say it, they're just trying to ban AR-15s. That's really what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's a big, scary gun. Scary.
But the problem is, and here's where it's funny, right? And our commander-in-chief at this time has used it for the past 40 years trying to make this gun go away. For 40 years, this guy has literally had it out against this gun. And it's to be expected. So he's not going to use the term AR. He's going to use the term assault weapon. Okay? A butter knife could be an assault weapon.
Yes.
So we're going to ban butter knives now? A coffee mug can be an assault weapon if put in the right hands. A stapler.
Golden arches.
Golden arches.
Killing people.
Oh, yeah. Killing people. Brass knuckles can be an assault weapon. My question is, so we have some steps that need to happen, right? So it's in the Senate right now. It passed the Senate, which is fine. It's got to go, I believe, to the House next. And the House is where it's going to stop. Because it always stops in the House because the House is more pro-Republican than it is Democrat, which
House
is...
never loses.
The House never loses. That's very true. Good point. That's a good one. Touche.
Hey.
So when you get to that point, even if it passes that, the definition of what an assault weapon is needs to be defined, and they can't because then they have to classify a certain weapon that is used in an assaulting manner, and you can't classify that as well because you can make a 9mm handgun be an assault weapon. You can make a long rifle be an assault weapon. And by the way, guys, my favorite part about all this is one thing and one thing alone. Do you not think that Smith & Wesson and Beretta and even the local arms dealers that make their own ARs from scratch have to change one thing on this firearm to make it not an AR-15? It's one component that makes an AR an AR. All you got to do is modify it, and that bill in law means nothing. It's the same thing with a bump stock. Everyone talked about bump stocks. Oh, bump stocks are terrible. They turn them into automatics. No, they don't. They do not turn a semi-automatic into an automatic. The only way you can do that is one specific way, and I'm not going to disclose it on a show, and you can do your own research if you want to figure out how to do it. But automatic weapons, even to that, does it really matter? You hear these shootings, and I mean, there's like an insane amount of rounds, hundreds, 40, whatever it comes down to, and the casualty rate versus the shot rate means that they just suck at shooting. Okay, I mean, but then you hear a bomb go off, and you have 50 people dead. And that took a backpack that was left on a street that nobody noticed, that now we have to go back and look at camera feeds for the next 6 months, track this person down, figure out they're part of Al-Qaeda or whatever, extreme group or terrorist group that they're a part of. And that person's gone off the planet within 2 seconds because they use all the resources that they need to do whatever they need to do. And I don't disagree with that. We are not stopping it. We have all this power.
Yeah.
We have so much power.
Yeah.
I know that there was something that passed a long time ago about the National Security Act where they're able to, spy on your phone and pay attention, and they look at trends, whether they admit it or not. When I hear somebody like that recent one that just happened in Highland Park, they knew about this guy, and they did nothing. So who are we holding accountable? Because honestly, the guy is obviously accountable for what he did, but he needs to speak for his actions and honestly be hung in Times Square, personally, because what he did is just disgusting. But why are we not looking at the people that have the knowledge that should have said something? I'm gonna throw a name out there: Osama bin Laden. How long did that take?
Yeah, a couple of years, huh?
Couple years.
Yeah.
How does something like that take a couple years? We're the U.S. Yeah. The U.S. of A. Right? Big, powerful. I mean, we spend more money on our military than every other country in the world.
Yeah, than some countries' GNPs.
Very true.
Yeah.
So why did it take so long? Could he hide that well? Well, he went off grid. Okay. But there's a movie about that. And if you watch the movie, there's a lot of truth to the movie. There's a lot of Hollywood action to it too. But they had the information. They knew where things were, but they just weren't able to act because they had to go through 9 different things, 9 different, ranks on there as well. And that's okay. But Alec Baldwin's still free, and it's been a year, and we know exactly what he did.
Yeah.
We've
known.
Right. He's just lied about
it. What we've been doing is we've been chasing symptoms.
Oh, for sure.
Right? And we've been trying to cure symptoms rather than find and cure the cancer, right? Yep. So is this a good thing that now maybe we start looking deeper into where this symptom is coming from? So does it wake up enough people? Hey, Ted, how are you? Does it wake up enough people now to perhaps go, I appreciate what you're saying, and yes, something has to happen, but let's find the tumor. Let's not find the scab.
But how do you define the tumor?
That's what I'm saying.
So we've talked about the show of how to fix it, how to go through, and I've seen a couple Facebook posts out there recently about the school shootings, and now they have armed teachers.
There's some schools out there who have, yeah.
And they've promoted it, and they've actually said that the school is now armed, and teachers are armed, and I don't...
To protect their students.
And that's great. I mean, that's the teacher's job, is it not?
Listen, I'm glad they didn't have handguns when I was a kid. Because I was that little asshole student.
Touche.
They would have said it right on the table, been like...
Hey,
all right, Jones.
You just take care of it yourself. It's okay. We already know where this is going. But
that's right.
They posted on Facebook. They say, hey, we were armed and stuff like that. We hired 87,000 IRS agents to start tracking money and that kind of stuff. And again, it comes down to, folks, I can't say this enough.
Sure, but I've done some research.
Okay, cool.
So in 1950, how many mass shootings were there? In the whole decade of 1950,
mass shootings. In the same definition as that is currently, because I don't know if the 1950s was the same definition or not.
I don't know either. But
okay, we're gonna go with yes on there because hopefully that stays consistent.
Yep.
I'm gonna say 5,000.
Incorrect.
Okay.
There was one
mass shooting
in 10 years in the 50s.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
How about the 60s? Yeah, close, Art. Art
Okay.
said 0. Yep.
Art says 0.
How about the 60s?
So is this recorded mass shootings?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
60s. Freedom of love, drugs. You had the war, right?
Yep.
Vietnam.
So I'm going to go
In the United
low.
States.
I'm going to go low on this one just because that was so a big difference and dramatic difference on there as well. I'm going to go, let's say, 100.
Yeah. So
Art says 5.
Close, Art. Yeah. So 4 times as many. So 4. There were 4.
Wow. Okay.
How about the 70s?
I'm going to say 1,000.
10.
Jesus Christ, I'm like
Right.
way off on my numbers.
How about the 80s?
That's when guns started getting
Mm-hmm.
more popular. So I'm gonna say 1,000 in the 80s.
80s, it jumped. It went from 10 in the 70s to the 80s. It went to like 23 or
Okay.
something. So it was a little bit more than double.
Sure.
How about the 90s?
I'm still gonna go with that 1,000 number.
Yeah.
'cause
So
it's gonna be up there.
but it's only like 30.
Uh-huh.
Right. So the question is, what has changed? Yep. We had the same amount of guns and the same availability to guns.
Sure.
We had AR-15s then. We had quote unquote assault weapons at that point.
Yep.
So the question that I would ask is, what's changed?
The media talks about it all the time, and then the media becomes. I mean, the media's always been a devil to me.
Mm-hmm.
It really has.
Oh, sure.
And listen, we're speaking on a media channel here, but at the same time, our media channel is not politicized in any way, shape, or form in how we stand. We just stand for the right thing to do and inspire you guys to pay attention because
But listen,
trying to educate.
for the right price, I'll sell out.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay quiet on that one for a minute until I see that check. So how's
That's
that
right.
sound?
That's right. That check, it's got to clear.
Yeah, the check's got to clear and
It's somebody. Hey,
the
listen,
celebratory
it's
thing, so.
somebody's student loan.
Oh,
Never
guns
mind.
are terrible now. I'm just
You know,
kidding.
give me 4 or 5 people's
kidding.
student loan forgiveness. We'll be
Yeah,
fine.
oh my God. Dude,
Never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, we're gonna go
Was
down
that
that.
out loud?
I do not want to go down that path, please, because
Right. So
Man.
so yeah, Art says the society has changed. Yeah.
Yes.
What and Shayna says, what happens if everyone started to believe the whole everybody says so? These algorithms can give the impression your opinion is in the minority, and we accept it as truth without question. Yeah, that's what I mean. We're misinformed. We've
Yep.
decided to say, "Oh, this meme." I've got talking points now because I saw a meme.
yep,
A meme is a joke.
a GIF, something that or TikTok. I've heard. Oh, hey, I heard this on TikTok.
Oh my God!
If I hear that one more time, or
Don't lead the debate with that.
Oh yeah, seriously, yeah. Well, on TikTok is my trusted resource of some guy that did it. And by the way, they're creative with it too.
Oh, sure.
I love the debunking ones. Do you watch those ones?
Yeah.
The guy he's like, oh, if you leave a paintbrush and paint thinner overnight, it turns into glass. And then the other guy does it, and he's like, no, it doesn't. It just was paint thinner and paintbrush. Like I don't know what you did to this thing to make it turn to glass, but cool effect, and it's incorrect.
Right.
So Hollywood and video games. Yeah, Art, that's a great topic too. So we can dive in a little bit about it. I don't want to Senate part of it. I just need you guys, folks, to listen. They can't define an AR. They cannot define an assault rifle.
So weapon. Yeah.
That's it, and it's going to stop at the House. And even if it passes the House and goes and gets signed by the president and gets put into law, they're still not going to be. But it's going to be a win on his book.
What?
He's going to say, "I banned assault weapons." That's going to be his claim to fame. Watch, hear me say this right now. If it gets all the way to him and he signs that bill, his claim to fame as a president is going to be, "I banned assault weapons."
But it's going to be ghost guns.
Oh, that's the best part about it.
That's how they're going to get
You
there.
can't even buy a ghost gun. That's the whole point of it. You can't walk into an arms dealer
I'd
and
like
go,
the ghost gun, please.
"Yes, can I have a ghost gun? The one that doesn't have a serial number and is not registered." By the way, that's on your drug dealer's turf. You should go ask him for a ghost gun because they have the ghost gun.
Or her. Or her.
Or her.
Or they.
Excuse me.
Or they.
They. Them.
However.
Yes. Oh, here we go with this. This is great. Yep. That's exactly what I want to get into. We had to do that the other day. I ran across a form. I was like, "Was this really ask me? How do you want to?" Oh my God. All right.
Never mind.
Yep. Never mind. So Hollywood and video games are is a good argument I've heard multiple times. So if you have your son Daniel, who's adorable by the way, and a mini you, if he were to play Grand Theft Auto every single day for a year, and then you gave him a firearm, would he act differently than he would if he played Minecraft for a year? and I just want to ask you that personally. You don't have to answer, obviously, if you don't want to. But I would be curious to see, as a father of your son, if he would act differently. And I know the answer of what I would say, but I'm curious to know what the answer of what you would say in there. What did Shayna say?
What protection do we have against making the sale of ammo illegal?
We have a lot of protection against it, and there's different types of ammo. But yes, that actually has been brought up recently within the past year, and they did it right, Cook County. So for those of you on all of our,
Crook County?
yeah, do you like my hat today? It says Crook County.
That's
Good. It's a local clothing brand in Illinois. It's awesome. You should buy their stuff. They have Crook County apparel, and it's my favorite stuff. And they're in Crook County, which is awesome. They actually have a really cool shop too. So what Crook County did, right, is they added a tax onto our bullets. And then here's the best part, Shayna. Here's how this played out, right? So pandemic hits. We deal with massive shortages on not only toilet paper, but all of a sudden we had a massive shortage on guns and ammunition.
We sure did.
Okay? To the point where I still to this day, my dad bought me a reloader for my shotgun, and still to this day, I cannot get the primer for the freaking shells that I need. To this day, I still cannot find them on a shelf or online. I can't buy them. So they did something special. They shorted the primers first.
Yep.
Because brass is pretty easily available and has always been, and they have an abundance of it. They'll tell you that they don't, but they do. Yep. Lead is easily obtained and has a bunch of it. So what do you take the thing that fires it? So then what ends up happening is they hit all the small manufacturers up for all the primers, and those primers go increase in price because the demand is through the roof, and it starts with one component, primer. And the second component that they hit was black powder. So the powder that goes inside the bullet to make the primer work and ignite and make the bullet go out of the gun,
Pew, pew.
it literally was gone, off the shelf, off everything. So they've did the same thing in manufacturing. Silicone. The one part that nobody thought was going to be an issue was silicone.
Yeah.
And that silicone shortage, right, caused massive manufacturing issues. And one of the most manufacturing issues that you saw across the planet was chips, computer chips. By the way, computer chips are not made by humans. They're made by computers that don't get COVID.
That's right.
Okay, they might get other viruses, but they do not get COVID. I know that was a nerd joke. I had to throw it in there. Oh, that's a new one. Good job. Yeah, buddy. How do we get rid of chips when it's made with nobody touching it? It doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. So what did Shayna say?
She says air quote shortage seems to cover quite a bit lately.
Yeah, everything's shortage.
Nobody's asking any questions. You can't even find juice on the stores.
Oh, baby formula was a shortage, and that's now, I think that's fixed now.
Shortage.
And
yeah, sound effects. Oh.
Yeah, it was a good one. Oh, he's got it really good. Yeah, so perfect art camera.
Art says, I talked to Daniel and Allison about mass shootings. I explained to them why they happen, what to do in case he is in it, what to do in case he sees or hears something about it from his peers, what consequences the shooters will have in their lives, and how much harm they cause to the victims' families. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about.
Such a dad.
Good job, Dad. It comes down to education, and you can't be afraid to talk to your kids. So many people want to candy coat and sugarcoat things for their kids. In all four of my kids, everybody's like, "You talk to your kids that way?" Yeah, I talk to my kids that way. That's the way the world is.
Yep. Communicate.
You communicate with them. I'm not going to pull any punches. Nope. And as my kids have grown, they have learned to appreciate that.
Yep.
Right? Because they know how to communicate with people now. They know how to, I've got a daughter who's a clinical psychologist, and she's good at her job because she knows how to communicate.
Yep.
And she's not going to pull a punch.
Nope.
Right? So I tip my hat to you, Art, because that's huge. Now, as we said, what in the 50s, 60s, so what's the difference? I will tell you exactly what the difference is and when this country started to go to heck in a handbasket.
Shoot away.
And it was our good friend Rudolph Giuliani.
Oh.
And he took down who? The Italian mafia.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the Italian mafia stopped running this country, guess what happened? For real. Right? That's what I'm standing on. That's all that I'm standing on.
Anybody on the Italian Mafia want to come on the show and talk about this?
Come on
in.
would
Not shoot me.
would love to have you, but hey, you know what? Things ran efficiently, things ran smoothly, people knew their place, and there wasn't one mass shooting in the 50s. Huh?
I'm gonna double back on that because I'd like to find out exactly what that definition of mass shooting was, and I want to dive into a little bit more of what that might have caused it. It might be that I don't know that I want to say that I don't believe that mafia ran the country, but at the same time, I know
you're from New York.
I know.
Hey, you're from New York.
Yeah,
it ain't strange to you.
It isn't strange.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
The sad thing is, I do know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about, Willis?
Hey.
So, I want to say not. But at the same time, as you get older, Kent, the funny thing is you just start to realize how manipulated you've been your whole life. Do you know that there's textbooks in my high school when I went to high school that things were removed that I found out later in life that they were removed because it didn't fit the narrative that the teachers wanted to do?
Indeed.
Why is that okay? Honestly, why is that okay? We take down statues right now, and I'm going to throw this out here, and if I offend anybody, I really don't care, because at the end of the day, it's how I feel, and my heart is in it. We take statues down right now because of something that they mean, but what was our country was built by. And if you really look at it, dude, we took over this country in spite from the Indians. The Native Americans that were here, that were living here on this land, we just came in and took it over like it was nothing.
So the casino Indians, not the...
No, now they're casino Indians. But we gave them free taxes for life. Yeah, I know. So when does this stop, right? When do we keep going? Because the path that I see is we just keep getting misinformed, and then we're not educated enough to realize the misinformation. And when we don't realize the misinformation, we start to believe. Correct. And we start to believe the wrong truths. And then, like you just said earlier, that lie becomes a truth in your head and you justify it. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So I remember back in the day, and, we had a certain, these they, them conversations across the board. And I'm not going to dive into this because I honestly don't want to. But that conversation has never been had when we grew up at all. And now it's on forms sanctioned by government, sanctioned by health insurance, healthcare providers. I mean, we had a whole team meeting today, and that was brought up today. Hey, if someone walks up to you and says, hey, I'd like to be called they, like half my team looked at me like, well, I don't know what to do. You call them fucking they. Like, you can't. We need to be respectful, right? At the same time, I can't believe that I'm even having this conversation right now because we're looking at a small section of the country that wants a voice, and everyone needs a voice right now, and it's manipulating you in a wrong way, and we just keep pushing ourselves in different ways. And I'm not trying
somebody
to say...
Somebody said that I had a conversation with somebody who wanted to be addressed that way. And
I have not heard anybody yet.
And I'm like, all right, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Well, the literal conversation was really funny today because they're like, well, but isn't they like multiple people? And I said, in context, yes, it is. And they go, well, how am I supposed to say hi to them? I said, well, you ask them. Number one, be respectful of who you're in front of, because at the end of the day, they're still a person. They still
have
got
a name. That's their name.
That's their name. But if they don't want to be that, or if they want to be identified as that person, or they them, or whatever, then you just walk up and just say it. It's going to be awkward because you've never had to say it in your life, but at the end of the day, you need to be respectful of who they are.
Love people for who they are and where they're at in life, and everything will be fine. And you know what? Ask them their name. Yep. And whatever your pronoun is, God bless you. Sure. Run with that pronoun. But if your name is Jill, I'm going to call you Jill. Yep. If your name is Bob and you look like a Jill, I'm going to call you Bob. Yep. That's just what that's 100%.
Just it. But that's just being a respectful person. And, that doesn't mean you have to be best friends with this person or you have to agree with what they are. But at the same time, they've made a conscious decision to be bold enough to
Sure.
make that
God
move.
bless 'em, yeah.
And you really need to be respectful of that as well. And in the same sense, I carry every single day. You need to be respectful that I have done the necessary training. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I am not doing it maliciously. And that's the laws that we have in place right now. And those laws are going to change in some way, shape, or form. And I
Always,
hope the funny thing is the Cook County tax, by the way, is gone. They've abolished it.
Yeah.
The messed up part of it, where's my money? Okay, they said it was deemed unconstitutional to do this tax or whatever it came down
It didn't
to.
get returned to you.
They never returned my money. So where's the class auction lawsuit to be able to get my money back that the state of Illinois decided to take and Cook County decided to take that I'm never going to see again. So that stuff is just not okay to me, and I don't agree with it.
Crazy.
But I'll never see it again. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So we're going to swing back to a couple things in next episode and talk further into the 1950s conversation, because I'd really like to dive more into why that is and what the definitions of it are, because the research that I did back a couple months ago about shootings in general, since the 90s, it hasn't changed. It's actually been pretty consistent. And I didn't go further back, one, because I didn't have records that I could find that were actually really detailed out. The second part of it is I just don't trust the information I got from that, and I don't want to talk about it on the show until we do that. The other part of this I'm going to end you guys with is have conversations with your kids. Have conversations. Be involved in their lives. 90% of everything that goes on in the mass shooting world, I blame parents. And whether those parents are there or not there, whether they're deceased or just piles of crap, or whatever the situation is, be involved in your kids' lives. Listen to them. Don't ignore them. Don't work too much to not be involved with them, because at the end of the day, you could be creating a mass shooter and not realize it. And you can do a lot of things to prevent it. And, it's on you. It's your kids. It's your offspring. That's it. Shayna said one more thing here, too.
We are ignoring what used to be clearly defined as mental illness. Nope, I'm not being bullied into participating in a delusion. I also will defend your rights to fly your freak flag. It's complicated. Well, no, that's just being a good constitutionalist right there. It's like Griner.
Yes.
Okay, she broke the law. Once you leave America, your freedoms have ended.
Yep, gone.
So
do you know why she left America?
Yes.
She got paid more money.
Yes.
It's all money.
It's all money.
That's it.
Yeah. And
so she relinquished
her rights.
Her rights as an American citizen.
Her freedoms.
Correct.
Right?
To make more money.
But here and Phil and I talked about it too, but here's what I'll say. I get upset with the people who, oh, well, you said here and you said we shouldn't do this and America is suppressed, and I'm like, but you're the same people who fight for her First Amendment right to say whatever she wants to in this. So which is it? You can't have it both ways. And that's why I agree. It is complicated, but at the same time, she had every right to do that. Now, as a human being, and an American, if she's being held against her will, and it didn't break the law, we do everything to go get her.
Of course.
If she did break the law, hey,
it's marijuana.
Yeah.
Right. So where it's legal here, it's not legal federally.
Yep.
Okay. But yet our federal president is talking about her being detained.
Yep.
And how it's not right in some way, shape, or form, and he's trying to take steps to do that. But yet we have an incarceration abundance in this country over marijuana, over tiny marijuana.
Tiny.
I mean, literally a hand, not even a joint-filled marijuana, and they're sitting in jail over this stuff. But yet you're trying to fly a person out of the country. It's just a distraction.
Yeah.
Another distraction.
It's another distraction. So, if you do the crime, you got to do the time.
100%. I agree. She needs to route there. I'm sorry. You wanted more money?
She's there for 9 years.
Oh, good. Good for her.
Yeah.
That's cool. Let me know how that paycheck works out for you. I hope the money was worth it to make it 9 years and get out and figure out how to come back to America. By the way, I don't want you here. You can stay away. I don't care about anything about you. You've relinquished your stuff, and you took money over our country. Piss off. That's what I'm ending it with. Piss off. See?
There it is, of course, for everybody here, 216 The Net. Thank you for getting stuck in the net with us for your daily dose of encouragement right here on the Bear Facts on Guns. Friday, always a busy day. Come back, got a lot of shows, got a lot of good stuff going on, and I think everybody's going to be here. See you, folks.